Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Stellar Network, aka XLM. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from CZ Binance. So one thing that I have been mentioning on this channel for a while around use cases within this entire space is focus on the very efficient networks and projects that are not only disrupting key areas, but also providing economic growth for those key areas. With XLM, a lot of people focus on XRP's use case and try to compare these two, but no. I've actually said it many times in the past that with XRP, I think that they're great for B2B. I think that that's a huge opportunity for them. I think that they will most likely see a large amount of success within the B2B market with what Ripple is trying to do with XRP. And remember, Stellar is not XLM, Ripple is not XRP. These are companies that are sourcing and utilizing these digital assets to empower the network. And with that, right, what I've mainly talked about with Stellar and what Ripple is doing, comparing these two and seeing the differences, is the fact that they're both empowering specific niche audiences within the respective markets that they're going after. For an example, Stellar is more so P2P, and with what Ripple's trying to do with XRP, it's more B2B. I think that that's the best way that you can look at it. I also think that these are two assets that everyone should have in their long-term crypto portfolio. And the main reason is that, when we look at what's happening, we are seeing an evolution of finance. We're seeing an evolution of everyday systems that we utilize to transact, to send money, to receive money. Like everything that we see is getting a facelift. And this tweet here from CZ Binance, although it's a very simple tweet, it also does speak volumes on where we are at currently with the, financial technology that we utilize today. A friend of his told him that, to send $200 to his family via fiat, it cost him $30. I wonder what the time was, right? The time to receive this, the time to settle, the time to see it, in your bank account and all that. It probably was quite a bit of time. But to send $200 to his family via crypto, it cost 1 cent. And sometimes utilizing different assets, you can get a fraction of a penny for that transaction. Like we are seeing major disruption happening around technology and, payments. Everything that we know around payments, finance, etc., it's all changing. Everything is changing. And although a lot of people don't want to realize this, maybe people think that it's just noise or something, we are starting to see everything trickle a little bit, right? It's going to start slow, it's going to start small, but then all at once we will see things move pretty quickly. Outside of the US, we have started to see a huge opportunity for crypto. We're seeing these big giant countries starting to not only move in on crypto regulation, but they are very adamant about becoming a crypto hub and also adopting this technology. Enterprise grade adoption is happening as well, right? We started to focus on this with Casper. We started to focus on it with Hedera. And today, more than ever, we are seeing this becoming a reality. Hyperledger Foundation executive, Daniela Barbosa, was actually talking about challenges in adopting enterprise blockchain, including the lack of complete comprehension of its advantages. And when we look at the advantages, we know that it's there. We know that there's a large amount of opportunity for businesses, specifically around cost reductions, things like that. But it is transforming everyday life, but also everyday business processes as well. I've talked about this as well, like with Hedera, on how they want to digitize workflows. Digitizing workflows is a huge area of opportunity, but here we actually see a real world use case around Goldman Sachs actually recently arranging a 100 million euro 2-year digital bond for the European Investment Bank with 2 other banks, all based on a permissioned blockchain that is a significant milestone for the financial markets and an enterprise grade blockchain technology. Outside of this, right, this is like a financial use case, but outside of this, like you see a large amount of adoption even within the gaming area. You see it within gaming, the metaverse. You see it, like there's so much opportunity around this technology that's still, it hasn't even been fully adopted it. It hasn't been fully, tested. There's still a lot of exploration that needs to happen around this technology to really see the true value because it's unlimited, untapped potential. And with that, right, like you have to look at the amount of valuations that we're disrupting as well. Like some of these markets, like I talked about global real estate, tokenization is going to disrupt that market fully. That's a $300 trillion plus market. So we see a huge area of opportunity. And a large amount of this opportunity could also be tied back to distributed ledger technology and some of these assets. I think that XLM is fully ignored. I think that a lot of people just don't care about XLM, mainly because with what we see around Stellar, a lot of like the use cases that we see with Stellar are focused on like USDC, or they don't really mention XLM all that much. So a lot of people think that like XLM is not going to be utilized for much at all, if anything. I think that that's severely mistaken. I think that with XLM, I think that we actually have a huge opportunity in front of us. First off, tokenomics with XLM compared to some of the top 25 tokens, night and day difference. I think that there's a huge opportunity here. I think that Stellar is changing the way that the retail sector transacts. I think that they're disrupting a significant area of opportunity with the P2P market, disrupting that fully. But also within that, I also think that as we see standardization changing around financial use cases, more so, I shouldn't even say financial use cases, financial messaging, we're going to see a large amount of financial use cases thriving within crypto. And, I think that with ISO 20022, it's another opportunity that a lot of people are kind of mistaken. This, with ISO 20022, we're seeing messages and messaging data change drastically. And the way that I look at this is I don't believe that ISO 20022 really means much for crypto. I think that it opens the door, though, for digitization to be realized in fully. What do I mean by that? Well, with messaging standards changing and with data changing, well, it now opens the door for opportunity to have an entire change of the infrastructure. See, as we look at the infrastructure around the traditional financial system, it has not been changed since the 1960s. That was the last major innovation happening to the financial system. And what was that? What was the inception of debit and credit cards? As we focus on the traditional system and as we do focus on the world of finance, we need to see something change. We need to see some larger innovation happen besides just, the small, flashy sort of changes. With messaging, with the change of messaging and the full-on evolution of messaging data, it opens the door for digitization, tokenization, and DLT adoption to take place. In my opinion, the financial system and the global monetary system as a whole will be built out, and I shouldn't say built out, but it will be upgraded to digital DLT rails. Permissioned and permissionless DLT technology will be utilized. In fact, it will be adopted in globally. I think that we're starting to see this happen as well with CBDCs. I think that a lot of people are focused on CBDCs right now. I've talked about my concerns with CBDCs as well many times on this channel. But as we do see the evolution here, technology-wise, it's going to demand a large amount from DLT, meaning we're going to see a huge demand from DLT in the sense of instant settlement. I think that the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, said it perfectly. He said, yeah, sure, Swift has rapid payments, but do they have rapid settlement? No. That's why, going back to the initial viewpoint here from CZ, it's a big focus point. Cost and also time. I think that's a huge area. But let's talk about XLM. Let's talk about why I believe that XLM is about to change the absolute game and why I believe that XLM is actually a huge opportunity. So, with all of that in mind, with everything happening, utility is going to be a focus point. And so far, Stellar has not only been a big focus of mine, but it seems like they have this in mind for themselves as well. 2023 strategy. Utility is the growth exponent. They want to deliver on utility more than ever before. And they want to have reliant on network effects. They want to change the way that these networks drive growth as well as drive utility. So, with this in mind, I do believe that they are focused on three big areas: users, developers, and businesses. With this, right, we are going to see a big growth in the sense of network adoption. They're focused on DeFi as well. Whether it's scaling on Stellar's traditional offering or leveraging a new smart contract standard in DeFi, we need to make it easy to build on this network. This is how we offer surface area for innovation that expands the ecosystem of builders of all shapes and sizes. And by the way, for those out there that don't know, Soraban development has been happening. This is a launch of a new state-of-the-art smart contracts platform that is developer-friendly, scalable, and is deeply integrated with Stellar. This is actually already live. And this has a large amount of backing from Stellar. In fact, $100 million is already backing Soraban adoption. And this was announced back in October of last year. And this has so far been doing very, very good. And I think that this is something very exciting. They do have their eyes on a lot more adoption of Soraban, and I do think that this is going to be great for the network as well as for the ecosystem. Remember, very similar to like the XRP ledger, we start to see a large amount of grants and things like that happening with the XRP ledger, and we start to see a large amount of updates and upgrades as well to the ecosystem. So I think that this is great. I think that this is great for Stellar and XLM. I think that we're about to see a large amount of growth from them. And I think that utility is a huge area. I think that utility is going to start to be realized in as a focus point for anybody that is investing into crypto soon. Also, regulations. As regulations do come into the space, utility will shine better than anything else. But also, I've been focused on quarterly reports, and yes, they are focused on utility. They've mentioned quite a bit of that within their quarterly report, but also the network is growing. I focused on all of these. If you guys do want to go look at these, you guys are more than welcome to. Network statistics, we are starting to see a large amount of total accounts growing. Total payments are down 39% due to, I'm sure that you guys guessed it, the bear market, because they were actually up to 72.6 million in quarter 4 of 2021, which is when most of the market was going pretty crazy. And same with the decentralized exchange volume. But total operations up 63.8%. We are seeing relevant assets growing as well. Decentralization update, they gave us a little bit of an insight on the average ledger close time. We also see a little bit of an update from their AMM volume, which liquidity, total value locked, 39.7 million. Nothing too bad right there. But then they also do mention Soraban, which they do give us a little bit of an insight on the mainnet. So mainnet is launching quarter 2 of this year. Right now, they do have that incentive program right now where we are starting to see a little bit more of a building and upgrade process for Soraban, which I'm very excited about. So as we focus on this, and as we do focus on a lot of the updates and also the partnerships that we've started to see from Stellar, mainly with real-world use case and adoption, I do think that all of this combined with what they want to do, with what we are seeing technologically and adoption-wise around crypto, I do think that a lot of these utility-grade networks and projects, like for example XRP, HBAR, Algorand, Casper, QNT, etc., I think that all of these are set to explode going forward. And when we look at XLM, XLM's chart looks beautiful. As long as we hold the 8-cent zone up here, this area of opportunity going all the way back to even 2019, I'm very excited for this. I also do believe that we could see an expansion up to 15 cents almost if we could break out of that like 9.5-cent zone up here. But first, we need to reclaim and break over on the 3-day, the 53-day EMA, which is at almost 9.5 cents, this orange line here. Once we get a significant break over that, we will target that 15.5-cent 200 3-day EMA, which is right up here. I do think that here's the major opportunity, like this 14.5-cent almost, if you will, level, which is 0.5 on the fib. That's what I'm mainly focused on. I would personally love to see a retest of the 618, which is up at 21.5 cents, but we might not see that in the short term. But let's hope and let's see what happens going forward in this year. If Bitcoin does continue to, gain momentum, if we do get that wave 5, then I do believe that XLM is set to explode well above its all-time highs and possibly even target, anywhere between, If we get to $2, that's incredible. But if we get to $3, it's going to be a very big surprise for those out there. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As up to you all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.